The Silent Mansion, Part 4. Adeola Center, The Haven, had just received a major grant from a women's rights NGO based in Abuja. Interviews, speaking invites, and podcast features flooded in. And through it all, Daniel remained by her side, steady, warm, constant. One Saturday afternoon, they visited Agodi Garden, a serene, green escape where families picnicked and children chased kites. Adeola laughed more than she had in years. Daniel pulled out a small velvet box from his back pocket. She froze. "Deola," he said softly, "you are the most courageous person I know. You turned pain into power. I don't want to fix you because you are not broken. I want to walk beside you. Whatever comes." He opens the box. A modest gold ring with a small emerald stone. Simple yet stunning. "Will you marry me?" Tears sprang to her eyes. She nodded slowly. "Yes. God, yes." He slipped the ring on her finger. Her lips trembled as they kissed. Long, slow, full of everything they hadn't said. A few people clapped in the distance. She laughed through her tears. "I didn't think I ever deserved this," she whispered. "You deserve even more." Later that night, back at her flat, she was scrolling through old email when one unread message caught her eye. "Watch your mouth." It was sent from an anonymous account. "You should have stayed silent, bitch. He had powerful friends. Some of us are still watching." She stared at the screen, pulse raising. Attached was a photo of her and Daniel walking out of the haven, taking that money. Nikki arrived 20 minutes later. "This can't be random," she said, pacing. "I know, they are still out there." Daniel arrived shortly after. He took one look at Adeola and pulled her close. "Do you want to call the police?" "No," she said calmly. "Let them come. I am not scared anymore." 2 days later, as the sun dipped behind the hills, Adeola walked home from the market with a basket of fruits and some peppered meat. Halfway down the quiet road, a black car began slowly trailing her. Her heart pounded. She quickened her pace. The car accelerated slightly. Then, tires screeched. A man stepped out. She froze. But before he could get close, another man on an Okada suddenly swerved in between them. "Get behind me," the rider barked. She didn't hesitate. The man from the car glared but didn't move. Someone shouted nearby. The black car peeled away. Adeola climbed onto the back of the Okada, trembling. "Who are you?" she asked. The rider pulled off his helmet. "I was sent by someone who still owes your father a favor," he said. "You are not safe yet." That night, Daniel held her as she cried. "I don't want to be afraid again," she whispered. "You won't be," he said. "We will get to the bottom of this." The next morning, a manila envelope was dropped at her doorstep. No note, a birth certificate. It wasn't hers. It was a child, a baby girl born 5 years ago. Shifolarin Ajayi, Ronke Ajayi. Her mother had another child. Adeola staggered back. She had a half-sister, and Shift's legacy wasn't done yet. Later that night, she confronted Ronke on a video call. "You lied again." Ronke looked startled. "Adeola, you had another child with him after everything he did to me? It wasn't like that. You were pregnant while he was raping your daughter." Ronke began sobbing. "I didn't know what to do. I was afraid." "You are always afraid," she ended the call and wept. She was ready, not just to survive, but to fight. The early morning rain in Ibadan washed over the city like a quiet baptism. Adeola stood by her window, the light catching the ring on her finger. Today would change everything, but not in the loud, painful way she had once dreamed of. Today was about closure. 9:15 a.m. The police headquarters, Oyo State. Adeola sat opposite DCP Aremu, the officer now in charge of the reopened investigation. He was reviewing documents spread across his table, the birth certificate, the email threats, and the recent surveillance reports from Lagos. He handed her a file. "This is the man who told you," real name Obinangwakwe, ex-bodyguard, ran errands for Chief during the early days of his political dealing. He vanished when the sexual assault case hit the news. What was he doing in Ibadan? Protecting the last piece of Chief's legacy. Adeola's eyes narrowed. The Chief's child. Aremu nodded. She was moved here quietly after Chief's arrest with Ronke. 11:45 a.m. The confrontation Ronke lived in government safe house outside Iyana Church, a modest compound protected by private security. Adeola hadn't wanted to go, but she had to. She walked through the gate slowly. Ronke was seated on a plastic chair under the mango tree, a little girl playing with her. The girl had Adeola's eyes. Ronke stood up. "You came. I needed to see her," Adeola said, voice flat. Ronke opened her mouth to speak, but Adeola raised her hand. "No lies this time." Ronke nodded, tears forming. "I was pregnant before I found out what he did to you. By the time I realized, I was trapped. I wanted to abort, but I couldn't. I thought having something innocent from him would help me forget. It didn't." Adeola's gaze fell to the little girl. "Does she know?" "No. She thinks he died. A hero." Adeola knelt beside the child. "What's your name?" The girl smiled. "I'm Adana. Do you like stories, Adana?" The girl nodded enthusiastically. "I will tell you one someday. A long one, but not today." She looked up at her mother. "She's not responsible for this sin, but you are." Ronke broke down sobbing. "I will take care of her," she said. "I will raise her better than I raised you." "I hope you do," Adeola replied. Then she turned around and walked away and didn't look back. 1 month later, the final verdict came in. Chief Folarin Ajayi was sentenced to 45 years in prison for sexual assault, obstruction of justice, conspiracy to murder, and intimidation. He would die behind bars, but more importantly, he would die forgotten. Adeola and Daniel stood at the registry, signing the marriage document. No crowds, no spectacles, just two souls, survivors of their own storms, choosing each other. Nike was there crying as usual. "If you cry on your honeymoon, I will disown you," she joked. Daniel kissed Adeola's forehead. "You are safe now." Adeola smiled. "No, I am free." Months later, Adeola stood before a crowd at a uni women conference in Abuja, sharing her story. Not as a victim, not as a symbol, but as a woman who fought her own way through hell and came whole. "They tried to silence me with shame," she said, voice steady, but shame only thrives in silence. When we speak, we take our power back. Thunderous applause filled the room. In the front row, Daniel beamed with pride, and in the back row, a woman in a black scarf silently wiped her tears, Mama Ronke holding Adana's hand. Adeola stepped off the stage and looked up at the lights. For the first time in years, she wasn't haunted, she was home. Please like and subscribe to my channel for more stories like this.